Hello. I wanted to come in and touch base really quick because we have gotten some really awesome comments in the Embracing Health Facebook group. We've started the program. It officially starts in June, but there have been people coming in, in the front end and starting the program. And I wanted to share what people are sharing in there because sometimes even just saying yes to yourself, when there's your yes and you just move in that direction, creates a lot of activation in your system, right? It's not about the means to an end. It's about the action of choosing what you know. So this one person in the group said, I'm new on this page. I'm excited to be here. I've been doing the program for chronic pain release, and I love it, how easy it's been to work through the work and the variety of tools. I found it helpful, and I've gotten to a peaceful meditative state, and I'm yawning and yawning. Now I've joined Embracing Health a couple of days ago, and I listened to Devotion as the Path to Healing, which is the first sequence we have when you start the year, is this one to stop trying to heal and actually let healing in. Because what I've seen as a doctor is this is the surest way to retract and contract the system in a way that it doesn't let the healing in. It doesn't let the lightness in. It doesn't let abundance in. It actually creates inflammation and cortisol and all of the same processes that create illness. It's exactly why I got so many degrees worse with this chronic autoimmune disease. When I tried to heal, the more I tried to heal, the worse it got. More layers of stuff and more diagnoses. And it was what am I doing wrong? So Devotion as the Path to Healing is really about letting go of trying to heal. And I put that right up front in the sequence because once you get that, you can let so much more in. Because like I shared in the workshop last week, it doesn't come from me. It comes through me. But I've got to open to let that abundance or healing or wealth or whatever come in. And sometimes we're holding on so tight, we're white knuckling, where what I talked about in the workshop last week, those first two stages of control, and we don't know how to move into that third stage. Anyway, so she said, I did the devotion, listened to the Devotion of the Path to Healing, and wow, this program is a whole new level. I listened resting on the couch with a clay poultice on my hip, and the pain increased after I joined, which alarmed me. It sent me into a spin of, have I done the wrong thing? Which this is not uncommon, that things will intensify as you begin to accelerate. And I wonder if anyone else has had this happen. Today, it's not painful, and I feel elated. I wrote 10 light sentences, and I'm yawning after every one. I know this is my body releasing. I also wanted to say I was reluctant to post because it was a trigger, I can't write as well as everyone else. And now I'm letting myself be vulnerable and engage as I am. I'm intending to release osteoarthritis, and am open to receiving the deepest connection to infinite wisdom and love in my heart. And the joy and abundance I never imagined possible. I thought this, and I'm going to just keep it confidential because I don't know if she wants me sharing that outside the group, but that was one of the posts from someone in the group, which was just so beautiful and so inspiring. And so I wanted to share that because a lot of people think these physical illnesses are a static thing. Disease is this thing, and so I have to fight against it. But this is not what I've seen with chronic illness that allows healing at all. It actually just makes everything worse. And when we can remember we are vibrational, and even if there are cellular changes in the hip with osteoarthritis or chronic fatigue and abnormal lab results, or your adrenal fatigue, or your thyroid has nodules. I have seen all of these heal. I've seen women go back and they no longer have nodules on their thyroid, and they no longer need their thyroid medication. So your body can heal, but what does it take to allow that recreation? Because the cells are getting recreated in every moment, either on the template of the program you're in or on a new template. And this new template and what we're creating in the Embracing Health program, or any parts of the work I've shared, step into the new template of I love and accept myself fully. It's okay for me to be as and who I am. That creates a huge amount of lightness in your system that does create cellular change, that does create hormonal change, that can literally repattern what's happening in your body. So I was really excited. Yeah, so lymphedema. And in fact, someone in the workshop brought that up last week, something about pelvic prolapse, the pressures, or it was venous insufficiency with like varicose veins. So everything in your body has been shown to respond to this inner connection of your consciousness. Your psycho, neuro, endocrine, immunologic system, because it's like all of that put together. They're not separate. None of it is exempt from that communication and that interaction. So your connective tissue and like the integrity of that connective tissue, or there's tension in the connective tissue, it has everything to do with like whether there's fluid flow of the lymph or there's a backup and we get lymphedema. So there are structural things possibly to address, but unless we're in the right consciousness, you'll be like, I'm trying all these different practitioners, no one's helping me, nothing's working, or like maybe you don't even have energy to go there, or maybe like, I don't have any money, I just feel swamped. You'll find that like the circumstances are just not connecting, that those physical things can be addressed. It has everything to do with your consciousness. If you're like in the consciousness of, I have to just always work hard, or year by year, my health is going to be an uphill battle I have to work harder at, or whatever might be living in your system, you're going to live the result of that. You're going to live the reflection of that. And if you don't stop and pause and say, wait a minute, what else is possible here? You'll just keep running on that hamster wheel thinking you got to keep going, trying, and get ahead. So what else do we have in here for questions? So if you are interested, the course is at drkimd.com/health. But the free workshop I did is also awesome. Great starting point. drkimd.com/workshop. It's still playing up there. So yeah, if you're desperate and you're in that energy of like, that's what creates the contraction. And we see it physically, mentally, and emotionally. And we even see scientifically that affects your genetic expression. So whether you're like, my genes repair themselves, I stay young and healthy, I express the genes for health, or the opposite, right? Like your genes can shift and change. You activate the genes for disease. And this all has to do with the epigenetics, which is like the environment the cells are in, which has everything to do with your state of being. Dorothea said, I've been told nothing can be done, and this is it. Yeah, so heavy light. This is one of the things, especially in the Embracing Health group, that we become more adept at. In fact, there's an audio that I put in there to just tap into your awareness. Is it my truth? Your truth will always feel light. So when a doctor says to someone, nope, this is it, you'll always have this for the rest of your life, there's no other way, and you feel that doom of like, oh, it's because your system knows it's a lie. It's because the consciousness you're in is higher than the one they are functioning from. So it's not like it's not true. It's not true for you. And that was exactly where I went when I got this diagnosis with this autoimmune disease. And they're like, here's the 20 things you're going to need to do. You'll have this for the rest of your life. I was like, like, end it now. My life is over. And I realized, wait a minute. Thank you. But this isn't true for me. What's actually true for me? What's possible for me? And it was a whole new possibility. And if you know my story, it was a very, very short time. All my symptoms completely resolved. But it's because they were being like recreated by the tension in my system and the fear that I was in. So just stay tuned within yourself of like, is this actually true for me? What else is possible? And it's not just asking it from the head. You've actually got to align 2% to the connection within yourself. That's kind of the activating factor is, am I even present in here? Am I feeling and sensing what's happening in me? Or am I so busy running in the hamster wheel trying to make it change and get over and get away from it? So that's like 90% what I've seen with people with chronic illness that isn't resolving no matter what they do. So feel into that space. Your wisdom will always, always guide you to greater abundance. How much of a time investment should be expected in the program? Thanks, Miss Flo. So we have a call once a month. That's a 90-minute call once a month. So we do a lot of integration in that call. If that is all you did, it would be very, very well worth your investment. We'll go through the whole 12 months of the year, but even like, I'm telling you, like even just a couple of those will change your world because you're integrating a whole new wisdom within yourself. So we do that each month. If you're active in our Facebook group, asking questions, I'll do a check-in. So I'm assisting everyone in the Facebook group weekly as well. And then there's audios that you'll listen to through the month. There's 2 audios a month where there are other integration calls. But I would not say more is better, that you're like, I gotta do all of them. It's like you could just do the live call each month. And, there's some tools that you could just use, a couple of the tools, and just nurture yourself throughout the year. Keep it simple. I have a lot of items in there. In fact, I would say that welcome series, when you first come into the Embracing Health group, there's a welcome series with 3 videos in there that are kind of like the whole premise for, here's your energy body. Here's how it works. Here's how to connect, and start letting go of all these layers of what you've been told and bought into that aren't even true for you and aren't serving you, and to release that and see beyond that. So that's a really powerful start. And you just take it slow and go easy. So it's not about time intensive, but it is very consciousness intensive, meaning we'll go into a way deeper consciousness. If you've dipped your toe into my work and you're like, oh my God, there's truth here. I know there's something higher possible for me. This is a deeper immersion into that. So I want to give a shout out to everyone who has joined. I'm super excited for all the awesome people who've come in. And the link is drkimd.com/health. The first call that we will be doing is really a journey to connect with your wisdom and get answers, get clarity, but from a higher consciousness. Because most people are asking questions and they're like, we stay at the same consciousness where the problem resides. So things like, oh, what's wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? But we're not actually in the receptivity for the true solution. And so we're going to shift that. And I know for me, having dealt with that really severe autoimmune disease, chronic severe pain, that's what I was doing all the time. Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I know, mind over body. I got to heal myself. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Not only was I not asking the best questions, I wasn't in a frequency where I could receive the intelligence, where I could receive the awareness. So that's the first thing we're going to do in the first live call in June, right up front. I think it will be a massive, massive value for you for the year, because there's nothing more valuable than stepping into your own truth, aligning with the consciousness that you are, the light that you are, the joy you're really meant to live, and then letting that feed you and letting that fuel you, letting that guide you and inform you. So I know this group will be different from any other group who's come before, because I've really tuned into what this year is about, and it's about cooperation, where there's a lot of unity in the group, a lot of connection, a lot of opening and sharing, and a lot of passion. Like, everybody who's coming in has a really profound commitment. I'm having it. Releasing the old density of, you can't have it, or, but I've already tried everything, or, whatever might have stopped them in the past or felt like it was too big, to finally say, I'm in charge here. I'm choosing joy. I'm choosing life. I'm going to find my way through this and open to more. So it's a really powerful group. I know this year I'm so excited to collaborate. That's really a part of the energy that's here, is this collaboration of what we're creating collectively for ourselves as individuals, but also for the collective shift, because we are all so innately connected. And it's really powerful to see what happens when we collaborate together. And especially for the past year, how many people opened beyond victim and fear and being like totally swamped in it, to actually allow something all new that they'd never experienced before. And so for some people, it's months of percolating in it, and they start to see a little, and they start to see a little, and it's like there's a speeding up or ups and downs of stuff shifting and changing. And for some people, it's sooner, where there's like, whoa, this, and this shifted in my physical body, in my physical life. But for most people, you'll start to feel the lightness right away. Like I said, Even just upon, and this isn't just about this program with the embracing health work. Anytime you go beyond the fear, doubt, limitation, and you choose yourself anyway, like, I know I meant to leave this relationship, but I'm just so scared. And like, you take one little step in that direction, you're going to feel the lightness. You're going to feel the speeding up. It will also intensify where you've been holding on to that fear so you can make a new choice. I'm ready to let this go. So you'll start to see a lot and start to feel the sense of like, oh my gosh, I can choose this. It's okay. I can allow more into my life. I can release what I've been holding. Bertois says, holding your truth in these times is hard. It's a lonely journey when others follow the narrative. Well, it can bring up where I feel like I'm alone. I know this for me was years back that I felt like, oh my God, I'm the only one in the world who thinks like I do, who sees the way I do. And that was a really hard one to clear. When this happened, that wasn't my experience because I'd already really moved through that. But I know for many, many people in the collective, that's what's coming up. It's like, I'm outside the box. Why don't I fit in? Why is everyone else over here and I'm over here? And the loneliness that can come with that, which is a delusion. It's always like, where am I isolating myself? Where do I not let in? Total celebration of who and how I am. So that's another big piece of what you might let in. Lala. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this because I can't even see that well. I'm finally dealing with scar tissue, both physical and spiritual, around my old spinal tumor area. Good, everything's energy. So let's see what's possible. Oh, Bali Carr is asking which one of your programs helps with weight loss. They're all really powerful for bringing you into a new consciousness, so you're not carrying around the density and your body doesn't physically have to like recreate the sabotage and recreate the heaviness and recreate whatever's having that outcome happen. For those who want to work with me live through this year, this is why we're starting up this program with Embracing Health. So it's a deeper dive. It's a more collaborative group where we'll work together over the course of the year. So it's a whole year integration. Like I said, even if you're just going to show up for the live call and maybe you participate a little bit in the Facebook group and you're like, let me check in, you'll get so much out of even just one post. Because we're functioning in a higher consciousness, and it welcomes you in to see, sense, feel, perceive at that all new level. And you'll begin seeing like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was doing X, Y, and Z that was keeping these things in place. So it really empowers you to make new choices. What if one is not available for their first or second live call? No issue. They are all recorded. And what we'll do, especially in that first call, is a powerful integration. Each call has its own integration. But you'll do this on your own. So I would say schedule it, like actually schedule the 90 minutes where you're like, I'm going to reserve this with myself and do the recorded call at that time. We've had a lot of people, especially in like Australia and places on the other side of the world, where in India, where it's like not the time. Some people will get up and join us live, but it doesn't need to be that way that you have to join live. The calls are activated, that they will work on your system when you listen to them. I did also add, we haven't really announced this yet, but we're adding a call that we'll do for like Australia time so that everybody who's in the program or ever been in the program before can be there live to join the Australia time zone call. So if you're not there live, especially if it's just for a couple of them, I mean, even if it's for all of them, like this is a really powerful integration and you will be part of that collaboration. Jennifer says, I'm struggling with old family wounds today. So I would invite you, whatever is coming up, because as we're all accelerating into consciousness here, densities are going to arise. You're not going to miss it. Like it's sometimes going to hit you right between the eyes. Would you be willing to welcome this? Because we are so taught. I shared a video yesterday to fear everything. So it literally is like, I either live in fear of everything or I fear nothing. This is my choice. And this is the choice we're making right now. It's 2021. Will I continue to live in fear or will I live from freedom? And in the mind, it's like, oh, what the heck are you talking about? Like, there's really scary things out there. I really am not safe. I really have been barraged and abused and fill in the blank. But there's somewhere within us all where we know, as I remember and awaken, I'm sovereign. As I remember, I activate that sovereign self, that guidance, that abundance, that space where I am loved, I am cherished, I am provided for, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So it's not like just about money. It's about like, do I receive energy in my body every day that lights me up, that I feel inspired, that I can have the clarity of like, I'm going to go in that direction and choose what creates more? Or am I cut off from that and I'm like floundering around, paying attention to what's outside me for guidance? Oh, I should do this. Oh, wait, I should do that. Oh, wait, this one says I should do that. And you're like a hamster on the wheel. So if you just tune in right now, soften your body 2% more, you will access more of your guidance. You'll access more awareness, which like might be that you're aware of your fear more. Don't make that wrong. Like I said earlier, for a lot of people, things can intensify as you're healing, like not uncommon. You'll feel lighter, but you're like, whoa, physically there's like stuff coming up. Don't make it wrong, because it is the energy moving through. It is what's clearing so that you're more free. Dorothea said, I'm ready to live from freedom and love. Yes, we all are. Romeo, hi from Transylvania, from Romania, with love. Oh, that's so beautiful. Great to have you here. I love hearing where everyone is joining in from. So I'm going to post this video in the Mind Body community on Facebook. So hello to everyone there. Hello to everybody on YouTube. I'll post there as well. The link to join the live program is at drkimd.com/health. And the workshop was /workshop. That's like a separate link, but that was a really great free workshop we did to kind of just like get you acquainted with how powerful you are and how to start accessing that. And Nuzu Bizarre, Biari, I don't know how to pronounce that. Feeling exhausted these last days as I think I'm starting to learn how to move energies. Yeah, drink lots of water. Drink lots of water, ground yourself into the earth with your bare feet for just a few minutes. Let yourself start to let that energy move. There's so much more we access ourselves to. In fact, one of the videos right up front in the Embracing Health program is a grid where I'm showing you like, how do you increase your frequency, and why is increasing your frequency so powerful for shifting the physical reality, shifting your physical body, shifting the physical illness or your circumstances. And the more we ground into like, oh, but I have this problem, we're like anchoring into the consciousness that's creating it. But the more we remember, somewhere I'm whole and complete. Even though I don't feel it, touch it, see it, I don't even know what she's talking about. This girl sounds crazy. What if I open to a new possibility? We immediately access a lighter space. It's a higher frequency. But when we start to just percolate in there, even at 2%, we let in more awareness. We see things very differently and clarity shows up. That's what really allows physical change to happen. I'm healing and addressing issues I buried. Yep, that is so much what's happening in the collective. Good for you, because some people are just trying harder to do the managing mechanisms of like, let me run faster, let me work harder, let me just sleep more, okay, and all the avoidance strategies. So we're like trying to pull it all out and max ourselves out on those. No. Let what's coming up come up. It's actually serving you. Romeo said, I find myself in your posts and I'm often judged as a scared sensual healer, even if I am in the male body. I find myself in your posts. So you're often judged. Where are you being judged? Because it's where you are judging yourself. Like subconsciously you're holding something in your system that you're like, no, it's not mine. It's them. They're judging me. What's going on? And then you'll react against the world or try to do what you can to cope. But when you realize, oh, what if I just receive this? What's coming up for me? Oh, I feel like fluttering in my belly. Oh, I feel heaviness on my chest. Like you'll have more sensation, but it will bring you more awareness. What am I actually feeling? And then you literally, it's like catching the fly in the chopsticks. you'll find what you're holding in your system that's creating this, that you're ready to let go. And it's great that you're in the male body. I mean, there are so many more males awakening, and we had some awesome guys in the Embracing Health group this year who were just such a contribution to what we're doing. Hello, Philly from UK. Do my chakra in motion too. Well, your energy's gonna definitely be in motion. Bali says, there is one thing to do daily. Is there one thing to do daily that will help shift our health? Example, deep breaths or EFT tapping. I would say the instant elevation. I mean, this is on my website. It's on my YouTube. Just start tuning in. Soften your shoulders, which lets the breath go all the way down to the belly more easily. Bring your awareness within your body. So there's one thing to just bring your awareness within your body, but if you just soften your shoulders, you let more breath come in, that alone lets more energy move. So stuff's actually going to come up and you're like, whoa, that's there. And it will actually come up to come out. So judged as a sacred sexual healer. So judged as what? Who's judging you? Just look for yourself. Like, where do I think I'm being judged? Where is that judgment living in me? What do you feel when it lands? So, for you, Romeo, what are you carrying here? Because if it's repeated over and over, it's something that you're carrying that this is trying to show you. But for Bali, that is the most powerful presencing practice you can do to start. In fact, for anyone considering working with me live in the program or like any other thing you're considering, pause first. Stop choosing from reactivity and start choosing from awareness. So if you just soften your shoulders, breathe a little more fully, bring your awareness within your being, within your physical body. And then just ask, what will serve me the most? What will contribute the most to my body, to my life, to my work, to my family, to my money? What would it take for me to choose what contributes the most to me? And then you'll feel that like ding, 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 ding with anything, whether it's like this sandwich for lunch, or it's like, yes, I should move in with my partner, or yes, I should take a year with Dr. Kim and immerse myself more fully in this energy. Could be anything. But if you're listening, you'll feel the spark. Follow that. Follow that, because it will lead you deeper into the connection with yourself and into the abundance and the awakening. Oh, any advice for food stuck in throat? There's a lot that comes up, especially around that throat chakra, where we like resist and restrict. So especially in the Embracing Health program, there's a lot of people opening in this space, opening into the throat chakra of, I am ready to express myself fully. And I've seen things from like lineage patterns, from I'm afraid to be burned at the stake, to shame that we're holding that has us not really fully express who we are. There are a lot of things that can show up that way. And we can tune in specifically, but any of the work, even just any of the videos I have, so I'm not saying you have to like go get this thing. Tune in, use any of the videos I have to just kind of like connect with yourself a little more fully and let the answers come in. And like I said, the very first call is what we're going to be doing is like, how do we get those answers? How do we tune in to this wisdom, which is at a much higher frequency than where most people are residing, to let that awareness in? Because it is gold. It is freaking massively valuable. And we'll be doing that right up front in the course. Romeo, I chose the path of sacred prostitution, sacred sexual healing, because not many people know the importance of this path. There is a great need for healing in the world. But if you're judging yourself, it actually puts you in a lower frequency of what you're doing. If you carry it, I'm not saying it out there, because every single person in the world could have this judgment about sexuality and carry it in their body. They're judging their sexuality. And if they're judging their sexuality, they're going to be judging your choices, even if you weren't doing this. So it's not about them. It's about, where do I stand? Am I actually following my knowing? Or are there layers that have this be a little convoluted and thwarted that I'm still carrying here, that have this not be totally clear for me? So I would look for yourself as like, wait, where am I still carrying that perspective? Where am I still carrying that that shame energy or those ideas? Because it's unconscious, but when you keep clearing it, I guarantee you your work is going to look very, very, very different and be received very, very differently. Romeo, yes, when we leave toxic sexuality and enter into sacred sexuality, deeply connected with heart and soul, treasure boxes open and we enter higher dimensions, a whole new universe. And it doesn't have to be with the prostitution energy. It can actually be an invitation to others to connect with their own sexual energies within themselves and let those energies course through their body, opening their sexual chakra, opening their sensuality. There doesn't need to be the prostituting energy around it where it's like, hey, here's a trade-off that is kind of like, and not on a conscious level. So feel into like, how can I do this in a way that is totally heralded as the precious sacred work it's here to be. Whoa, halala said, yes, I get whispered at me often. Soften my shoulders, my eyebrows, my tongue. Polaroid said, I'm really scared. You know, one of the most freeing moments I've had in my life, I was carrying a lot of tension that day and I came home and I'm talking to my husband and I'm like, what am I doing? And I was turning on the faucet to wash the dishes and I just did this piece where I just like relaxed my body and tuned in. And he's like, what's going on with you today? And I just said, there's just so much fear. And I just breathed in and I breathed out and the energy moved. And like just acknowledging it, feeling it, sensing it, calling it out was really powerfully releasing. So no longer was I in the doing my conversation or doing my day. I was just acknowledged. That's a really powerful point to start. Like, what is here? What is true? The truth will set you free and you can begin to let that resonate out as soon as you call it out. Oh, beautiful. All right, so I will sign out. Shimmer Spiral, do you do group calls? This is where we do the group calls. So yes, we do the group calls in the Embracing Health group each month. They're about 90 minutes. You will have one-on-one interaction within those group calls. Everyone will have a chance more than once to come forward. A lot of people don't. A lot of people will receive what others are bringing up. And they're like, I got so much out of what this person shared. It's unthinkable. I didn't even know that lived in me. So it's not like we have all these people vying for like the hot seat. It's whoever steps in moves the energy for the whole. And if you've ever been in calls like this, you've experienced something like that. But these are really, really profound. So I'm really excited to welcome people into these calls. I know how powerful they are and awakening. And I know many people are ready to step into the truth. So I'm very, very excited to welcome you. It's at drkimd.com. If there are any other questions, I will be in the Mind Body Community Facebook group. When are we doing this? Tomorrow's Wednesday. And be answering calls through the Mind Body broadcast, the Mind Body TV broadcast. It's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain in the Mind Body Community. So if you go into Facebook, be in the Mind Body Community. I'll be there live tomorrow at 11. We have a couple more weeks of Mind Body Miracles, which is like stories of individuals who maybe like you have felt really stuck with like the physical stuff of like, all these doctors told me nothing could happen. I was given this diagnosis. I was told this is your reality. And wow, my life was just a nightmare. Nothing worked. I felt like I lost everything, to having a complete resolution. I mean, some cases, I have 0 diseases whatsoever, and, really severe like connective tissue disorder, chronic fatigue syndrome, very, very common, thyroid disease, autoimmune disease, MS. And Anita Griffiths has been really verbal about her resolution of MS and that journey from being on the hospital bed in her dining room for like months, told she only had a few more months to live because the MS was so progressive, to now she's walking and just sharing these amazing celebratory stories of her health coming back online. So that is what we've been sharing in the Mind Body TV broadcasts in the last few weeks. So we have a couple more, but I will also be answering more questions about embracing health. New BR says, what about chronic illness that doesn't improve and only gets worse? There might be trauma behind, which program would you recommend? This is definitely the one that is the most all-encompassing, because I'm working with you live, because we have a longer duration to immerse in the work. So this is definitely the one I would recommend if this resonates with you. A good starting point. I mean, the book is even just such a brilliant starting point, the Mind Body Toolkit. If you're just like, I don't even know what you're talking about, let me just explore this. That's available at Amazon or also on the website, drkimd.com/book. Hello! You want to say hi? No? My little guy just got up from his nap. So any of the things I'm sharing can really help open up the energy to let a lot more in. Come here, Bubba. Come here, sweet one. Say hi. You want to say hi in the video? No? All right, Mama's finishing, okay? Say hi a little bit. Oh, feel good. All right, everyone. I love you. I will be there live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain. And we will go from there if there are further questions, or just to tune in to if this is inspiring for you to be part of the community and join us live. We're there every week. I'm at drkimd.com, sending you my love. You're not alone. We are all awakening. And there can be a lot of labor pains with what is being born in the world now through you, through us as individuals. All right, lots of love. I'll see you soon. Bye.